Welcome to the channel. If you watched any of my videos before, you've probably seen the Insley H1000 excavator I bought. Now, I bought it for one job specifically, and that was to dig on this pond. So let me give you a rundown of what's going on here. This pond was dug in, I think, 1953 by my dad and my grandfather. And actually, if you've watched some of my older videos, I've got some on the International TD6 crawler. That machine dug this pond. Now this is down in the valley on the farm, and I never gave it much thought when I was a kid. And one day I asked my dad, I said, well, what'd you guys do with all the dirt that come out of this pond? Over on this bank, and it's kind of grown into the woods, you can't see it right now, but there's a bench up in there, and a lot of the dirt was pushed up into there to kind of fill that in. There's a big flat spot that goes about halfway up. And actually, I'm thinking this part of the valley here, it's a big high spot. The wood's overtaken it over the years, but everything is fairly level in this whole valley except right in here. So I think a lot of the dirt got pushed into there. So that's the same plan I'm going to do, because there's really no way to get this out of here. And all I want to do is clean up a little bit here. You can see there's an inlet pipe right here that is fed from the creek. Creek is right back over here along that edge of where the weeds are. And there's a pipe coming into the pond, and then down there at the other end there's an overflow, so the water circulates. And whenever a good storm comes through, the silt from the creek will actually wash into the pond, and that's why this here is real shallow. Starting today, use this machine and start doing some digging. this isn't good. Got oil coming from somewhere under here. I got to take that cover off. The drive motor is in there. Yeah, it's leaking. That don't look good. Let me see what the hell's going on here. Oil's leaking from this fitting right here on the side of that pump. These are all new lines, new O-rings. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to get that line apart, see what I find. And I've got new O-rings, but I don't know why that one would be blown out. So we'll see. Okay, here's what happened here. 4 bolts here hold this flange for this hydraulic line going to this hydraulic motor. Well, those bolts were not tight. And in layman's terms, that means that they were loose. I put these lines on a year ago. I had all these custom made. There's swivels in here, there's fittings, there's 45s in here, and you can't really tighten them up in place. So I'd have to test fit these, get these fittings kind of tight, take it back off, tighten them up all the way as tight as I can get them. Sometimes they would move a little bit, put them back, check them, and I probably had these things on maybe 3 times. And I'm kind of guessing that those 4 bolts did not get tightened up all the way. If I could blame that on somebody else, I don't think I'd still do it, because that's all on me. I checked these 4 bolts, they're tight. I'm going to take the cover off the other side, and I'm going to double check all those, and we should be back in business. Let's go. Well, I'm going to end this video here. I've got about as much as I'm going to do on this side, and I've got a pretty good pile of dirt there. And here over the winter I took down some trees, so I left some logs and all that brush in there. That'll hold all that clay from washing down this way. That'll grow up right in front of it with sassafras trees, and probably a year you'll never see that. So in the next video, I'm going to have the machine move down the other side. I'm going to start about where that sycamore tree is, start cleaning up that edge a little bit, do the same thing over there. I can throw all the dirt into the woods and get to this corner here, and I'll make a kind of a deep pool in there, and then I'll work my way back and finish up this edge here. Thanks for watching.